At Mountain Vale, Rhaena Targaryen, the granddaughter of the late Rhaenys, stands her ground, as she calm and successfully claiming Sheepstealer, the dragon who has run wild for years. Aemon Targaryen storms the Red Keep and holds a blade to Maester Orwyl's throat, demand the whereabout of King Aegon, only to discover King Aegon has already fled the capital with Lord Larys. Aegon and Larys is smuggling in a raven cart. Heavily injured King Aegon suffers in agonizing pain as they flee the capital. The escape fails when they are caught by Rhaenyra's soldiers. Though Larys initially tries to claim they are simple travelers, he exposes the King Aegon's identity when the guards demand they bend the knee to Queen Rhaenyra. Realizing the prize they hold, the soldiers prepare to ship Aegon and Larys straight to Rhaenyra on Dragonstone. Back on Dragonstone, Rhaenyra weighs Alicent's offer to surrender at King's Landing, but her son warns it is a trap. Summoning her council, she reveals the secret terms with Alicent. The city gates will open, and Aegon will be surrendered in exchange for Alicent and her daughter's safety. Alicent returning to King's Landing from her secret mission, she is summoned to the throne room where a suspicious Aemon sits on the high seat. As he reveals Aegon has fled with Lord Larys and asks where she was, Alicent covers her tracks by claiming she was in the King's Wood, but Aemon doesn't buy it, accusing his mother of underestimating his war strategy while bragging about the incoming armies and fleet from their allies. At the Red Fork of the Riverlands, Prince Daemon Targaryen leading a fierce army of local rivermen, Daemon trapped the Green Lannister army, scattering the Lannister army, and broken survivors strike to death. As the Northern Winter Wolves armies arrived, with Lord Roderick Dustin in command, aiding Daemon to securing a swift victory. This force turned the tide by bringing Daemon the head of Lord Jason Lannister, claiming a decisive win. Sir Gawain Hightower and Sir Criston Cole, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard and the Hand of the King, trapped in the woods, hidden in the Riverlands forest near Harrenhal, waiting for Prince Aemon to arrive with his massive dragon Vhagar to protect them from Daemon Targaryen's forces, but with no dragon in sight. On a creepy island near Harrenhal, the three bastards who luckily claimed dragons are on edge. Hugh Hammer, Ulf White, and Adam of Hull, sharing stories about their pasts and dreaming of life after the war, while waiting for the order to fly out and crush Aemon. For Rhaena, just as she seems to have won over Sheepstealer, the wild beast drops her off on the sharp mountains of Dragonstone and flies off into the sky, leaving her behind. Just as her hope was gone, Sheepstealer later returns to her, bringing her meat from hunt. Inside the Red Keep in King's Landing, Alicent secretly sends war orders to Lord Ormond in the King's name, as she panics with her daughter, worried about Sir Criston, trapped in forest. On the waters of the Gullet, Lord Jacaerys Velaryon, the Sea Snake, and his bastard son Alan of Hull talk strategy. They discuss Queen Rhaenyra's order to block King's Landing's escape routes by the sea, hoping to gain the upper hand, crush Aemon, and secure the Iron Throne. Suddenly their alarms ring out. The fleet spots a huge enemy force that outnumbers them. They quickly prepare for an ambush. The enemies were the Triarchy, a pirate alliance of Aemon from across the sea, with Admiral Shirako Lohor in command, alongside with Tyland Lannister and his few armies. Tyland suggested attack through the South Pole to protect them from Rhaenyra's dragons, but Lohor orders the attack through the north instead. At the Hightower war camp, Lord Ormond Hightower receives the letter Alicent sent it in the King's name, stating Aemon will join them in 3 days' time, and they must wait at the camp until he arrives. At the Red Keep in King's Landing, Alicent convinces Aemon to take his dragon to the Riverlands and ambush Harrenhal and take out Daemon, instead of waiting for attack by Rhaenyra at King's Landing. To her, she is sending him away to clear Rhaenyra's entry to King's Landing, just as she promised. Aemon accepts it with a kiss, without hesitation. On Dragonstone, Rhaenyra is informed about the war in the Gullet involving her ally Sea Snake. She quickly storms out to prepare for a ride to the battle, but her son Jacaerys Velaryon Jace gets angry about being left out of the war. He gives the Kingsguard an order to lock Rhaenyra in her chamber to protect her mother and ride to the Gullet himself, alongside Bella Targaryen, sister of Rhaena Targaryen. Trapped in agony, Rhaenyra pounds on the heavy iron door. Feeling deeply betrayed by her son and the Kingsguard, she was consumed by anger and despair as she tears her own dress in frustration. A massive war strikes at the Gullet, as each army tries to defend their ground on the waters. Lohor spots the Sea Snake and commands an attack, But it turns out she wasn't after a war victory. She wanted to take revenge on the sea snake for her lost brothers from 20 years ago. Just as they surround the sea snake's armies, Bala and Jacaerys arrive with their dragons, ambushing numbers of the Triarchy ships, but the enemy was already prepared for dragons. They shoot Jace's dragon with iron spear, pulling it down into the deep waters. Bala acts quickly, saving Jacaerys and his dragon as they fly into the sky. The sea snake gained advantage and quickly sailed toward King's Landing to block the escape routes and escape the Triarchy attack. As they navigate to pass the rocky waters of the Gullet, Admiral Loha's pirate ship spotted them. They followed them closely, chasing the sea snake through the dangerous rocky, shallow water. As Admiral Loha reaches the rocky, shallow waters, struggling with her heavy ship, she then turns and throws Tyland and his armies off the ship to reduce the weight for a successful passage. As sea snakes successfully crossed the rocky waters, they were unfortunately caught off guard by the Triarchy. The pirates ambushed their ships and attacked their armies, leaving them completely defenseless as they attack. Rhaena rides her newly claimed dragon to Dragonstone, only to find the Battle of the Gullet in progress. While trying to aid her side, her dragon runs wild, completely out of control, not obeying commands, and starts burning their own armies. At the other side, sea snake armies fought back regardless of their broken defense. The sea snake fights fiercely to defend his stance, while his son does everything possible to stay alive. Lohor makes it to the sea snake's position with a massive attack, but he is not easily taken down. As they engage in battle, the sea snake drops into the deep waters as the ambushed ship starts to sink. Spotting Lohor, Ellen launches a massive attack on her into the water. After a fierce struggle, Ellen stabs her throat, leaving her dead in the water. At the same moment, Bala and Jace witness the destruction caused by Sheepstealer. They launched an attack on Sheepstealer, but after noticing Rhaena is the rider, they retreat the attack. Just then, Jace's dragon becomes vulnerable to a spear. This time, there is no escape. The iron spear pulls him along with his dragon into the water. Shot with arrows, Jace is dead, floating on the Gullet. It is a massive war, ships burned, armies dead, as dragons flies through the smoke. Subscribe to my channel for the next episode.